Dustin, if I show my screen again, I can just show one more thing that
Yeah.
that was pretty wild about this sale. So the land bank in Philadelphia, they have the right to bid on properties like prior to the auction. And so this one was looking a little bit hairy because about a week ago, when we came into the Philadelphia sheriff sales, for this August 20th auction, there actually was not 185 items. You can see a lot of these are sold to land bank. There was actually about 120, more or less. And the bulk of them looked like they were going to be either postponed or going to the land bank. So there was a couple people who messaged, and they were already starting to check out. They're like, I don't think anything's going to come up for this. And I said, let's just keep an eye on it. I doubt that they would have an auction where everything is canceled. They wouldn't do that in Philadelphia. And so lo and behold, on that Friday, they had about 74 properties just pop up on the scene. And so had to scramble and had to be able to move through them quickly. But we got all 74 of those properties. All of them we got driven, and then we were able to do all of the title, look at all of do the research for each property. And so it was 2 really long days, but we were able to capitalize on that because I don't think everybody was prepared for that, or there could have been some people who saw that there was, potentially nothing coming up, and then they just decided to check out. But we stayed engaged, and 74 properties hit this auction on Friday, and that's what these two properties were from. And it's not like these are just two properties that were bought by students, but there was a ton more deals. There was still a ton of property that sold for like 40 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar, 35 cents on the dollar. So there was a lot more deals that still were bought today at the sale. And so you look for opportunities like that, and but they're not going to come if you're not going to auctions. They're not going to come if you're not engaged. They're not going to come if you're not proactive. So a really great opportunity, and stuff like that happens all the time where people are able to capitalize on the moment or capitalize whatever is happening with the county, whether they're disorganized, whether somebody doesn't actually follow through and buy a property, and then the next person in line gets it for a cheaper price. There's all kinds of interesting things that happen, and there's a lot of opportunities. But if you're not participating, if you're not taking action, then they won't come to you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Nice. Josh, maybe you can tell the story of like the quickest $5,000 that was ever made at an auction there, where one of the students won the bid, and the guy was in the bathroom. This is one of the quickest profits that we've ever seen at one of these auctions.
Yeah, that's exactly, yes. Yeah, there was a local there in the auction. He thought he had a lot of time before his property came up. So he went to use the bathroom and he wasn't even gone that long. And this was back when Philadelphia auctions were in person. And the lady doing the auctions, she actually moved so quickly. It was really refreshing because she didn't mess around. It was just boom, 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 boom. And one of our students had bought a property there, and this guy came out and he's like, "Oh man, I just heard my property go." And he's like, "I really wanted that property." And our student was not in town, and his plan was just to simply offload as is, sell it as quickly as possible. And so on the spot there, he was actually able to write it, get it assigned over, and then get either cash or a check or something like that. It would have must have been cash because the check wouldn't fly. Get the cash, and there you go. Just flip it, $5,000, and he's good to go. So that kind of thing can happen. Yeah, that's the quickest turnaround time. That was 10 minutes. Really, really
Nice. 10
fast.
minutes. Now, we're not saying that happens every time, but the cool thing about going to these sales is, some pretty interesting things can happen, from us buying a funeral home, which we never thought we'd end up owning, which was super fun, that made us a bunch of money. But the key thing is showing up, right? And back in the day, you weren't able to do these auctions remotely. Like, we'd have to go and show up. And Josh has been to Philly many times, been in many crazy situations as far as, looking at these properties. But the nice thing now is you guys can go and do this from home. You can do it online, which is super awesome, super fun. And that's what we're here to do, to encourage everybody to get into this. And that's the name of the game of this channel, our Tax Lien School, is to make this type of information accessible to everybody. And our goal is also to be the undisputed champion of providing the most information.